how to buy and sell stuff in Path of Exile. So you found a build guide that talks about some recommended or even mandatory gear to make that particular build work. But you have no idea, firstly, how to get this gear, and secondly, what is considered to be relatively cheap or expensive by your casual standards. This lack of basic knowledge effectively stops you from following the guides properly and creates this gear acquisition barrier that scares you, but is actually much easier to overcome than you think. In this video I'll tell you everything you need to know about buying and selling stuff in Path of Exile. Is this what you're after? Keep watching then. Hello everyone, I'm your host Jaro. We will start by talking about how to buy stuff. If you're after selling, just go to the next chapter in the video timeline. First, to buy or sell stuff you will need to be playing not in solo self-found mode, but in pretty much any other mode. This is the most important part of this section. If you somehow ended up rolling character in solo self-found, you are on your own, it is what it said on the box. Secondly, most players are playing in the current league or expansion of Path of Exile. So if you're looking for current prices, majority of items available for sale and all of that, you kinda should be keeping up with the program and playing whatever the current league is. At the moment of recording of this video, it is Scourge League 316. You would go to pathofexile.com/trade website. This is the place I often refer to as the community market, because everything you see listed for sale there is indexed from the inventories of the players who have chosen to put up things for sale. You use the search bar to enter the full or part of the name of that recommended gear piece that you are looking for and press search. If you're just browsing, it's a little less linear and you would need to play with the filters, which can be a little intimidating at first, but if you really want to browse, take your time, figure it out. Once you found the item that you're after, I recommend that you actually pay attention to several things, such as, first of all, once again, is this search applied to the current league of the game that you are in? It is that little drop-down box to the right of the main search bar. Then, check if the player who is selling the item is shown as green or online. You don't want to try and whisper someone who is simply not there. Finally, check the price and have a rough idea of what happens to be a good price and what happens to be a bad price. If pricing isn't a topic that you care about, then use chapters once again to skip ahead a little bit. But if you're still here, I assume that you're a real beginner who has little to no idea on this topic, so I will share a little further my own subjective casual judgment on what is cheap and what is expensive and how I personally determine this. Cheap is anything that costs under 5 Chaos Orbs. Chaos Orbs are the main currency that people use to buy and sell stuff. Towards mid-league, most unique items that will look amazing to you as a complete newbie should cost around 1 to 2 Chaos Orbs. Yes, that cheap. It's good stuff too, like, I don't know, Gold Rim Cap that gives you a massive amount of elemental resistances and that you can wear pretty much straight away as a newbie on any of your alt characters. It should be about like 1 Chaos Orb on average. 6 linked socketed robes such as Tabula Rasa that everyone uses for leveling their characters should be about 10 Chaos Orbs on average. This is where it starts climbing into the not so cheap category, but still affordable if you know why you need it. Casuals don't farm something like Exalted Orbs somewhere in Path of Exile Delve like the experts do. So for us, casuals and beginners of Path of Exile, anything that would keep us under, say, 20-ish Chaos Orbs as a full and game-ready build is cheap, or at least should be considered affordable, in my humble opinion. Because I think if you play through the campaign mode normally, you should end up with about 15 to 20 Chaos Orbs towards the moment of beating Kitava and being ready to take on the lowest tier of Atlas maps, where arguably you'd need to have at least the base of your build, including the recommended unique gear, ready, so that's where the purchases happen. Ballpark price of about 50 Chaos Orbs is an expensive build by my personal humble standards, but on the grand scale of things and comparing to the budgets of people who are seriously into pushing endgame, Atlas maps, higher tiers, it's of course laughable. Anyway, back to the process of buying stuff. Once you're happy with the price and the person appears to be online, click Whisper button and it will copy a friendly note to them that you can then use in the game. Now switch back into the game, prepare the right amount of currency so that you are ready to go, press enter to open chat window, and then Ctrl V, paste the copied text string from the website into the chat window. Best thing about this is that the website takes care of giving you the text in the right language, so that the player advertising the item would understand you. It could be whatever it needs to be, and you won't know until you actually paste it into the chat. It could be Korean, German, Russian, whatever. Give it a minute or two for the person to respond, as most people will just invite you into their group. If they don't, I would not spam them over and over, but instead I would go back to the website and copy a whisper to another seller, to the next one in the list, who might be actually paying attention at this moment in time. When eventually someone who is keen to sell and is paying attention notices your whisper, they will usually invite you into their group. At this point in time, 99% of sellers expect you to teleport to their location, which typically should be their hideout, as you might not have access to the map or campaign areas where they might be at the moment otherwise. Teleporting to their hideout is very easily done by clicking on a little blue teardrop roundish button on their frame in your party once they are in your party. Once you're in their hideout, just stand there and wait. They will open the trade window with you. Once you see the item that you want in their side of the trade window, mouse over it to ensure that it's the right one. Once you did that, you will be able to accept the trade. The button will not be activated until you mouse over the item. That is very important. They will do the same on your currency that you should put into your side of the trade window. This way everyone knows that they're getting exactly what they wanted. Once the trade is accepted, the item will be in your inventory. Make sure, by the way, that you have enough space before doing any of this, otherwise the trade will fail. Typically, after the trade is done, you will either right-click on your portrait and select Leave Party, or the seller would have left your party already. After that, you can just choose to right-click on their frame and whisper your thanks, or just go off your merry way. And this is how you buy stuff. Selling stuff is a very similar process to buying stuff, and you've just heard how the sellers typically behave, which is what you would need to do yourself this time around. But how do you put up the items for sale in the first place? Well, this is the most important part. To do that, firstly, you would need to buy, yes, you would actually buy from the in-game store a premium stash tab. You need just a normal loot tab, not one of those premium special currency tabs like maps or essences or whatever tabs. Premium tabs can be colored, renamed to whatever you want to rename it as, and most importantly, you can make them public for indexing of the loot that you put inside of those tabs, which then, once you tick the box, happens automatically on Path of Exile website side of things. Let's not go into technicalities here. When you right-click any item that you put into premium tab of your stash, you would be able to set an exact price, which is the recommended selling mode, the actual number of the currency that you would like to get for it, and choose what currency it is, which in many cases should be Chaos Orbs, as mentioned earlier. As soon as you place the item in the stash tab and set or change the price, my understanding is that the website re-indexes, so updates the information almost instantly, and anyone who currently is browsing or searching for this item within the specific price range would be able to find the stuff that you are advertising. And once the items are in your premium stash tab and the prices are all set, you are kind of like a fisherman, just sitting there or doing your own thing, waiting for a whisper to come in so that you can respond to it. Once the whisper pops in a chat, decide if now is a good time for you, which typically it is, since you can easily pop a town portal and go to your hideout and then right-click on the name of the person whispering you and invite them into your party. The rest of the process I've just talked about in the how to buy stuff section of this video. It's very straightforward. Final words on this. I do not know how this process works on consoles, as I only play on PC. I assume that it should work somehow similarly on the console, except obviously switching between a browser and the game would not be as easy as on the PC. I have no idea even if you can do it. If anyone playing on the console among my community and who has experienced buying or selling things could share their experience with all of us, including myself, in the comments down below, I would be very, very grateful, and I'm sure a lot of our community members would be very grateful to you. I hope you have liked this video, and I hope it helped you a little bit as a beginner of Path of Exile. If it did help you, please do not be shy and give it a like, and subscribe for more casual Path of Exile player advice and beginner-friendly guides for Scourge League and obviously beyond. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again in the next video.